This session is brought to you by Fusion BPO Services, our silver partner for this event. This session will be presented by Mr. Makesh Sankaran, President Asia Pacific at Fusion BPO Services. Mr. Makesh, the stage is all yours, sir.
Good coming back onto stage after 3 years because of COVID, and thanks to VoiceTech for creating a platform for all of us to meet here and exchange views. Good to see all of you. Today I'm going to share some perspectives of mine on voice AI, both in our regular day-to-day life and in our work life. Some of them are a little bit of imagination on what I think can be in the future, so I might have stretched it a little bit. So we all know voice tech is conversational AI, where man speaks to a machine. We all know that, and I think we've started doing that probably with Alexa or Google Assist or Siri, asking for songs, checking the weather, asking the system to dial out numbers for us. It's going to be far more than what it is today. And before we can even realize, I think every part of our life will be using voice AI directly, indirectly. We have systems today across the globe where our home appliances, take voice instruction, right? So it might take a little bit of time for us to adjust. When initially when the wireless headphones came and started getting flooded into the market, you'll suddenly see somebody walking on the road and talking to himself, and then you realize, oh, this guy's got a wireless headphones, or you think that somebody is talking to you, and then you start responding, and then you realize he's talking on a phone with a wireless headset. It took us some time to adjust to a situation like that. So will be the case when voice AI comes into our everyday life, right? You go to somebody's house, you'll see people talking to the light, talking to the AC, talking to the curtains, right, to open, close, or talking to the washing machine, right? If you're rushing for office and you put something on the microwave to heat up, you'll say, 2 minutes, heat this up for me and don't burn it, right? You'll get people, you'll get used to it over a period of time, right? And you'll get it everywhere. You'll get your, as they were speaking in the previous discussion, voice biometric will play a big role. You might not have to take your ATM cards to the ATM, right? You might probably even have voice authentication even on net banking. So it's going to be there as a part of our life. Very soon, faster than we all think, we'll be using voice AI all over our work life. Some of the quotes before I get into the main presentation that actually made me thinking: artificial intelligence is to intelligence as an artificial flower is to a flower. This really got me thinking a lot. And whatever is very simple for human is tough for a computer, and whatever is tough for a computer is simple for human. And that's how the entire process of automation moves on. Man takes a complex process, solves it, perfects it, pushes it to automation, takes the next complex process, perfects it, and pushes it to automation. That's where we've been progressing on the AI front. These are some of the trends that are there on AI, and I think most of you would know a lot of this, and I'm not going to explain each and every element of it, but I'm just going to pick up one or two parameters that I think will have real fast growth, and it will impact our daily personal and work life. The low-hanging fruit obviously is voice over touch, and I think we are kind of using that from a voice search perspective, from Alexa, Google Assist, etc. We will get into more voice authentication, right, for ATM or for getting into your office or for a password reset. That's the low-hanging fruit, and I think you will see a lot of applications that are coming over and will probably move out of the other forms of authentication and moves into voice authentication. The next thing which I found really very, very interesting is a concept of multimodal AI, right? What is modal AI first before we go to multimodal AI? Let's say you're doing a voice bot chat, or let's say you're doing a chat bot, right? You are interacting in the form of text, or you're interacting in the form of voice, right? That's multimodal AI, that's modal AI, sorry. Multimodal AI is a intelligent integration of voice, text, image, and data. That opens up a lot of use cases, right? If you go back and think how the human brain functions, right? You have a lot of experience either directly or through movies or video clips that you see. And when you see an image or when you hear something or when you feel something, the brain tells you how to react instantaneously. You see fire, even though you've not burnt your hand with fire, you know that if you touch it, it will kind of burn your hand because you've seen that in movies. Multimodal system is a system that's trying to emulate the way human brain thinks, right? It's trying to build a system exactly the way human brain thinks. And this opens up a lot of things. I don't want to get into the technology. I'm not the right person to talk about it, but I can probably imagine and give few examples that will come into play, right? You go for let's say you're getting ready to office, going for a board meet. The system will kind of tell you, hey, don't wear green shirt with checks. That's not what you do for a board meet. You wear, a plain shirt or a cream shirt, or you're cooking something and you forget what you do next. The system will talk to you and tell you, this is what you have to do, and last time you forgot to put salt. These are regular stuff that will happen, in making our life more easy. But what I see is a psychological impact on such products on human being. And two things that I could really relate to. One is education, right? Typically in an India kind of a scenario, you know how kids get educated, right? The parents will teach, the tuition teacher will teach, the school teacher will teach, and all of them put pressure on the kid, right? You tell them this guy has got so much marks, this guy has got, answers better. Can't you even answer this? These are the typical things that comes out in an Indian scenario. But with a system like multimodal AI, we can build a system of reinforcement for the kid. Even after doing one chapter, if the kid gets, let's say, just 2 out of 10, the system can be built in such a way. Obviously, patience is an issue only with human beings and not with the system, right? The system can still say, hey, 3 out of 10 is fabulous for a start. I think if you do this one more time, you will get a 6 out of 10. That gives so much of encouragement and reinforcement to the kid that the kid starts doing well, right? Probably somebody, when this evolves, somebody will take a movie out of this on how AI helped a kid to become from a bad student to a good student, and probably might name it Tare Zameen Par 2. I hope Mr. Amir Khan is listening to that, so it's a good movie idea as well, right? It also has a lot of voice AI is not only for tech-savvy people. A lot of technology has been built for tech-savvy people to be benefited from. But voice AI breaks that jinx. An old person in the house can, without moving around, control all the equipments in his house. Probably with multimodal AI can also converse, talk about what happened those old days, and the system can respond properly, right? So those are fabulous examples that can really take over a normal human being's life. From an application side, in the following slide, probably I'll talk a little bit of automation on from a BPO side on how voice AI can benefit, and from a customer experience perspective as well. These are some numbers. Today, North America leads in revenue from digitalization with about 55%, and way behind is APAC at about 24%. We see that BFSI has adapted to the digitalization and new technologies far more than other industries at about 22%, IT and telecommunication in the range of about 7%, and retail, consumer good, eCommerce at 12%. I was a little bit surprised seeing this result myself. I thought eCommerce and retail would be above IT and telecom. But I think it's just a matter of time when retail, consumer good, and e-com will move up probably another year or so. This is from a APAC perspective. You see China is leading the pack, followed by Japan, and then India. Not too much of a gap. I think this is a forum where you have people who are building products, people who are selling products, and people who are buying products. So I think all of us jointly have a responsibility to go and take India up, and I think we will be there very soon. From a CX perspective, a lot of organizations, including us, are leading from the front to see how we can deflect voice to non-voice, despite the fact that we are a very large voice partner, the voice player. That's the future, right? You can't shy away from moving voice to non-voice in an automated way. I think that gives a lot of benefit, somewhere close to about 40-50% saving. Voice, as we all know, is the costliest medium to operate. Visual IVR, chatbot, voice bot, I think is really moving up in a very, very fast pace for in our country. I think I was having a discussion with a senior delegate here today morning, right? We kind of sometimes over expect, right? What can bots do? What can automation do? It can improve efficiency. It can save time. It can save cost. But it can't save a customer intent, right? There are a lot of people who come back and say, I used voice bot for collection. My collection percentage did not drastically improve. I said, boss, you've saved cost. You've done it at a faster rate. You will have a resolution impact over a period of time, 4-5 months. We can't change the intent. So we should know what we want to expect out of the solution. I think before people invest, if they are very clear on that, I think the movement will be a little bit more faster. Sentiment conversation, we are doing our bit on online reputation management using AI, trying to understand and irate customer at an early stage and bring him to neutral or a positive trend. These are some of the work that industries that we are serving for. We are a globally present voice organization which is transforming at a very fast rate into automation and transformation services. We have quite some spread over telecom, BFSI, travel and tourism, and healthcare globally. And we're currently working on machine learning, deep learning, and natural linguistic programming. We are building a lot of use cases on the BFSI, healthcare, and the supply chain management side. These are some of my wish list. I think some of these products are in some form or the other prevalent in bits and pieces, and I think voice AI will do a good integration. As people running large organization, if we can get a system which talks to the senior management regularly, because analytics is there, data is there, everything is available, it's just the integration, and call him and say, hey, last month, same date, you were trending at a slightly higher revenue and margin. This month you are kind of falling back because I think in a couple of your large processes, the attrition has been high and your training cost has gone up. Can you go and have a look at it? So if I have a system which keeps talking to me on what's happening behind on my data on a day-to-day regular basis, I think decisions will be faster, movement will be quicker, and largely margins will improve, especially people who are managing domestic BPO knows the pain of that. So I think this can be a very, very handy tool, helping management to take the right decision at the right time on a daily basis, right? I'm seeing a lot of work that's happening on schedule adherence. Obviously, all evolved BPOs have a WFM team with a great amount of analytics that are there. But if I can have a system which will probably, let's say, for example, come and tell you, hey, I just saw the weather report, there's going to be rain in your city, and your, let's say, a DTH or a food delivery calls will go up today. Go and ask your WFM guy to spike up the manpower by another 5%. Cancel all your weekly offs and get some more people here so that you answer calls. I think that will be of great help for the industry. We know that the system can probably start calling you and telling you that you're losing on your AHT in this process, it's because of these 3-4 calls, and it can be easily improved. Can you go get that done? So I think it's more of a virtual assistant or virtual EA kind of a product that really helps you build decisions that are very, very fast. Yeah. These are some of the products that we built and which are doing well for us. All our products are prefixed with Mind. So Mind QAs are evolved speech-to-text product, where in a typical call center you tend to probably analyze or scrutinize 7-8% of your calls. Using this, we've seen a lot of success. Where 100% of the calls are evaluated. It will come and tell us whether compliance has been met. It will come and tell us if there are 4 key points on the call, whether the agent mentioned all the 4 key points. Did he mention that with enthusiasm or persuasion, as the case may be? Did he do that? Did he tell those points in order? And what are the ways of improvement? We have a very good case in a collection process where we were able to improve resolution by 6% in just 2 months using a 100% automated audit system that we were able to build. That's Mind QA. Mind Chat is a AI-based chat bot that we have. We have a very strong use case of a global cosmetic company where we were able to deflect 40% of the voice calls into chatbot without losing on resolution or without losing on customer experience. Mind FAQ is something that we built more from an internal perspective with speech to text available and the conversation of the agent heard. If the agent is getting stuck somewhere, the system will keep prompting the agent what he or she should do next. That's more of an internal product that we have built. Mind RPA, we getting trying to get use cases in as many industries as possible. We've been doing very well on the RPA segment. For a telecom enterprise division, we were able to automate their email queue to about 90%. 90% saving manpower, increasing resolution, been pretty good for us. Mind Workplace is a very interesting product that we have built, which kind of takes the entire life cycle of an employee, largely agents, monitors all the basic stuff, login, etc., productivity, quality. You can hear the call, the calls of the agent in the same place. It also proactively starts informing us, right? These are the set of problems. So a program manager can log into his program and he will have customized agent-wise remarks, right? This guy is not sincere, he's not logging in fully. These guys' calls is, kind of average. The productivity of these agents. So you can club so that you know what to teach whom, what action to take against which person. That's Mind Workplace. It's really catching up very fast. The number of users for Mind Workspace we have, not just for call center, but across various other organizations, is really picking up very fast for us. It's popularly known as MWP. We have our guys in the stall. Guys have more queries, you can reach out to them.
I'm Anuradha. So I had a question about that MIS you presented, right? So kind of a EA who can tell every day about how the organization is performing. But when we talk about the data, so how is it like? Is it like it has to be set up in your environment, or we can keep it and then your program will work on it? How does it work, basically?
Oh yeah, no, it could be an on-prem solution or a cloud-based solution. So it works with the data. You rightly said that. It works with the data. It does its own analysis and it speaks out to you, right? Two objectives of it. A, it can be suggestive, saying that this is the direction it's going. You need to watch out on this as a virtual EA. B, you can also ask it questions, right? You can ask questions. It will go run around your data, analyze, and pick up the right information for you.
Okay, So is it like we have to train it first, or how does the benchmarking
Everything,
and?
it goes through machine learning, everything.
Okay.
It has to go through a period of training for sure, yes.
All right, thanks.